Hey guys, welcome to this video about student loans. At 26 years old, I was able to pay off $26,000 in student loans about 2.5 years out of college. In this video, I want to talk about my college experience, what colleges I went to, how I got into USC, and also how I went to community college for a little bit and actually got paid to go to college, and why I really think community college is really awesome in that sense. Today I'm at the beach. I wanted to make a few videos out here, just kind of switch it up a little bit. It's really pretty. Got some surfers over there. This is Martin's Beach. Yeah, kind of secluded, not too many people. But anyway, today on this video I want to talk about my college experience and how I went from the different colleges I went to, how I got into USC, how I basically accumulated $26,000 in loans, student loans, which going to a private good school is actually not that bad. But yeah, so let me jump in. First off, I went to Boulder, Colorado for college, University of Colorado at Boulder. And I only went there for one semester. I didn't really like it. I accumulated like $8,000 or $10,000 in loans just for one semester, because I got like a partial scholarship, but the cost of everything was just like really, really high. And I had this, the whole dorm situation just didn't really work for me, and I ended up quitting. And so I finished one semester, and then I took a semester off of college. And at the time my family was like, oh, are you gonna go, you gotta go back to college, and I knew I was going to, but it was a little bit like unknown, where and how, what am I gonna do. By the way, sorry if it's windy and a little loud. I'll try to speak louder, but a little windy out here on the beach. So I took that semester off, went back to St. Louis, my hometown, moved back in at my family home, and after the semester, the next semester, I think it was the next fall, I enrolled in community college in St. Louis. And I went there for a year and got 4.0, like really, really good grades, and because I was focused on whatever. The cool thing was, I was actually paid to go to community college. Because my family is lower income, I got the full FAFSA financial help or financial aid. So for a year, I got $5,500 to go to college. And in community college, in this one at least, tuition was like, each semester, I think was like $1,000 or $1,500, and then you had like a couple hundred for books. So I was banking over, usually around $1,000, maybe like $1,500 on one of the better semesters where the books were really low cost. So I was actually making like $1,000 just to be in school, which was awesome. And then couple that with me working part-time and living at my mom's house. So I didn't really spend much money. So I was able to pay down some of the loans from Boulder, and then I had a year of more schooling from community college, which was awesome. So then I applied to USC, and it was kind of a long shot. Coming from community college, you don't really know if they'll think that's prestigious enough or whatever the case is. So I really didn't know. I spent a lot of time writing a killer college essay. And then the cool thing is, and I was reading about this online, so I had some hope, was like, when you're in community college and you get a 4.0 or a really, really high GPA, all of your test scores from high school or your grades from high school don't really matter as much, because now that you've been in college, the people that admit you, they really want to know that you did well in college. So by having a 4.0 in community college, it showed that, hey, I was successful at this college. Who's to say I wouldn't, chances are I'll be successful at USC as well. And yeah, so that letter came, was so excited. I was like, I knew it was a private school. I knew it was going to be really expensive. And I was just like prepared to take out as many student loans as I thought, or as I needed. Because, this was my dream school and whatever. Now, I don't think that mindset is really smart. I love that I went to community college and saved and actually made some money. But the thing was, because I was lower income, my family was lower income, and because USC is a well-funded private school, in association with FAFSA, I still got that $5,500 a year. USC gave me they basically, between FAFSA and USC, I paid like 5% of tuition or less. It was like $1,000 a semester. So they gave me like $22,000 in tuition assistance. And then with FAFSA, I mean, it was pretty amazing, especially when I look back on it now. I would have had like probably over $150,000 in student loans. But because USC gave me that money and helped me along based on my family's income, I was able to go to a really good school, and basically I came out with about $26,000 in student loans, and those are really from living in Los Angeles. Like, those were my expenses to live there, and I did it pretty cheap. I lived, pretty cheap, although like other people that I know that went to like college in North Carolina or wherever else, like, they were paying like $200 or $300 for rent. I still had to pay $800 to $1,000 sometimes. That said, so I went to USC, graduated. Let me take you back through USC, like how I was actually accumulating these loans. I'm trying to remember, like, when I first got there, I was technically a sophomore, but almost a junior based on my credits. And so I ended up going 3 years, or actually 2.5 years, because I graduated in December. And the first year, I think I accumulated like $10,000 or so dollars, or probably 10 or 12,000. And then, and that was based on like living expenses and all that kind of stuff. And then over the first year after, in that summer, I had an internship, and I made at least like probably $5,000, so that helped me along. And then the next summer I actually made, and I took out more, like $5,000 to $8,000 in loans again for the next one. And then the next summer I had a really, really good high-paying internship where I was at a small digital marketing agency, and that also got me interested and into digital marketing, where I think I made like $8,000 to $10,000 that summer. And then I also worked part-time with that company for throughout my senior year, and I also made a few extra thousand, and I had other projects and like little marketing clients that I was doing like here on the side, and not making a lot of money, but just like little stuff here and there. So in going into my senior year, I'm thinking back, I think I had like probably near 20,000 in loans or something like that. And I thought, since I had made all this money, and this is a really, really bad idea, since I made all this money in that summer of going into my senior year, I was like, I have enough money that I can probably pay most of my way through without needing these loans. So I was like, well, I have access to these loans. Meanwhile, I'm like playing around the stock market, haven't lost any money yet. I've been making a decent amount of money, not a lot, but like, having success in my head of like, if you make $1,000 when you only have $5,000 total, that feels like a lot. And so I'm playing in the stock market. I'm thinking, okay, I have access to these loans. Why don't I take out, I have this, I think it was like $5,000 to $6,000 that I took out. And I was like, all right, I'll just play around with it and put it in the stock market and make money off it. So that was really, really dumb, and definitely don't do that. Excuse me. But that's what I did. And yeah, so I kept working through my senior year, and by the end of the year, luckily, thank God, it really did. I made a couple, like, I think 1 or 2,000. I don't know what it was exactly, but I didn't lose money with that risky stock market trading. It wasn't trading, it was still index funds. It was fairly conservative in like the stock market trading world, but still, to risk your student loan money is crazy. Don't ever do that. So yeah, when I as I graduated, I had about $26,000 in loans. But and then I traveled to Europe, did this little like Euro trip backpacking thing for a couple months, came back to Los Angeles, and then started job searching. And this is when my loans, I think I got like 6 months or something. So my loans hadn't gone into repayment cycle or whatever it's called yet. So I was like, I knew it was coming, and I still had some cash, and I was, the crazy thing is, when I was traveling through Europe, I was doing it so cheaply, I was actually spending less money, or about the same, as a month in Los Angeles than a month in Europe, which was really cool. So I still had like this, I think I had $10,000 kind of extra because of this loan, and made a little bit of money in the stock market, and then just from working little projects here and there, where I was like, and then I still had some emergency funds. So I was like, okay, this is pretty good. I feel like I should just pay this back, because I shouldn't have taken this money out anyway. So right before I got my first job, I paid off $10,000 in loans, and so my balance was $16,000. So that's the overview. In the next video, I'm gonna actually go into how I went from that 26,000, then paid off the 10,000, and then at that 16 point, when I got my first job, I want to go through exactly how I started even when I started thinking about it, because it really wasn't a big thing in my mind until a certain point. And yeah, I want to go through exactly how I paid off in the journey of paying off those loans. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you on the next video.